The New England Patriots just got awesome news as it pertains to new NFL rules. Let's talk about it right here. You already know this is Sports Talk Patriots. My name's Aaron. Do me a huge favor before we get started. Hit that like button, subscribe, the little bell in the corner so you don't miss notifications, and comment below. At some point, I'll ask you to comment. I appreciate the dialogue. Let's jump into it. So, when it pertains to new NFL rules, this year we're making some huge changes in the NFL, and it comes to kickoff and kick receive. Now, punt, going to be the exact same. No issues there. But kickoff, all that stuff, going to be changed. And for the New England Patriots, awesome news for them is they get one of their great all-pro returners back, and that is Marcus Jones. If you forget, in 2022, he was first team all-pro punt returner, which was huge. He returned a kick that year. Last year, he came back week 2, had a torn labrum, and was out the rest of the season. It was rough for the Patriots, and so now he returns. He's healthy, and he's pretty optimistic when it comes to this new kickoff system. And what I love about it is his comment right here. It says, honestly, it's not crazy for me because I'm a punt returner too. It's basically like another punt return for me. It's just people on the same level, all at the same yard line. So it's a little different, obviously. But other than that, I can see how it would be a little different for people who don't do punt return. So I think that is huge for the Patriots. You have someone coming in. And again, if you haven't seen any of my videos before, I like special teams. I'm not the type of guy that's like, all right, during a kick or during a punt, during whatever, I'm going to get up and go get some more appetizers, get another drink, whatever it may be. I'm sitting there. If the game is on, I'm watching the game. So special teams, vitally important when it comes to football, especially the NFL, when any given Sunday, you don't know what could happen. And someone muffing a punt or missing a field goal could be a matter between winning and losing. So when it comes to special teams, when you have someone who's confident like Marcus Jones like this, it gives you optimism in this area of the game for the New England Patriots. So I think that is great news. Now we're going to get into as well in this video towards the end, because in this rule, you can have 2 people of obviously the 11 people on the field. You can have 2 of those people, at least 1, but 2, up to 2 that can return the kickoffs. Now we're going to talk about who are potential other people and what that could look like for the New England Patriots. But what I do want to jump into right now as well is just this rule. So if you're confused, here's an awesome setup if you have not seen this. So quickly, I'm going to explain it to you. So the kickoff is going to be from the 35-yard line. The kickoff team has to can't line up farther than the receiving team's 40-yard line. So that is a huge change right there, that they're going to be right there. Now, they have to be at least 25 yards away from the kicker. So essentially, they got to be between the 45-yard line in the 45 and the 40-yard line on the receiving team's side. There's a 5-yard buffer, and then the setup for the other team, the receiving team, is called the setup zone. So that is between the 35 and the 30-yard line. Now, what is wild is when the kick is made, the only 2 people that can move are either the 1 or 2 players that are receiving the kick in the landing zone area, and the kicker. The kicker can walk up to the 50-yard line. They cannot pass the 50-yard line until the ball hits the ground or it is caught. Okay? That is the same for the guys that are in the setup zone and the kickoff start line. So all those players. So on the kickoff start line, that is 10 players. On the other side, it's either 9 or 10. I'm assuming most people will set up in most likely 9. But again, who knows? This is an idea that came from the XFL, so we're going to see probably a lot of different strategies, especially this year, which is going to be awesome because I believe I read a stat in there that only 20% of kickoffs were actually returned the past NFL season. They believe that number is going to shoot up to 50%, which makes it a lot more exciting, and we're going to get into more of the specific rules. But those players in those areas right there, those 2 areas, cannot move again until the ball hits the ground or is caught. Now, the ball, if it is kicked into the landing zone, it has to be returned. There cannot be a fair catch. That is huge, okay? So they have to get the ball. They have to return it. Now, if it lands in that area, bounces into the end zone, and they can either return it or they can knee it right there. If they knee it right there, that is considered a touchback. The ball is brought to the 20. If the ball is kicked directly into the end zone, like a typical touchback we've seen most of the time last year or years prior, that would be placed at the 30-yard line. Now, it can be returned, but it will be placed at the 30-yard line. Now, this part is the huge part, and this is going to be wild, is if the ball is kicked out of bounds, it's not kicked into the landing zone, but it's kicked out of bounds, then that is considered, that's a penalty, and the ball is going to be placed at the 40-yard line. The 40-yard line is, if the ball was returned to the 40-yard line, that's a pretty impressive return, especially if you have a high-powered offense. Starting at the 40 can be just devastating for the other team. So there's going to be a lot more returns. I think it's going to be very exciting. And here are a couple other rules just so, kind of clarify. So right here we talk about the landing zone. Again, if the ball hits in the landing zone, but then it rolls into the end zone, that's fair game. So miscellaneous, again, there's no fair catches. Onside kicks, I thought this was interesting. Onside kicks can happen, but it is only if it's in the fourth quarter and it's the trailing team. So if you are on the other team, you cannot do that. Now, another question that I have not seen necessarily is, well, what about, I guess you can't really squib kick it. I haven't seen anything on that, and I haven't read enough on the whole system, especially in the XFL. I've never seen that, so it's interesting. So I assuming it has to land in the landing zone. If it doesn't, so you can't squib it all the way there, especially with all those players in the way. So I guess that would kind of make sense. But so low hanging kick, I guess you can do. It'll be interesting to see. Aaron, that was kind of stupid. Of course they can't squib it. There's going to be 19 to 20 people in the way, whatever. So, duh. So back to the Patriots though. We look at returners for the Patriots. Now, Marcus Jones, I feel like that is a no-brainer. Comment below what you think, by the way. Do you like these new kickoff rules? Do you think that it's going to make the game more exciting? I think it will, just because it's so boring watching touchback after touchback. And, it's like, let's play football. Let's do something to make it a little more exciting. So it'll be interesting to watch this. If it does well, I'm sure they keep it. If it doesn't, then I'm sure they're going to boot it. But one exciting thing they've gotten from the XFL, I bet you didn't think we'd get anything from the XFL, but we did. So next, people that we look into. So Marcus Jones, yeah, he's gonna be returning, obviously, in some capacity. Hopefully he stays healthy, because I think he could have an awesome breakout season. And then my question is, who do you see as that second person? So Marcus Jones, going to be the punt returner. Kick returner, or if it's one person there, will it just be him? Will be Jalen Reagor, or will it be Antonio Gibson? Now, you're probably like, Antonio Gibson? Well, if we jump over to him real quick, he did return kicks. Didn't return punts, but he has that experience. I think that he's a great talent. Honestly, I'm not a huge Reagor fan. Then again, he has potential. He has returned. Last year he returned, had a pretty solid average, did have a kickoff return. But and a lot of 53-man rosters have him making the roster. So I assume if he's making the roster, it's going to be as a return specialist. Antonio Gibson is going to be locked in, obviously, as RB2. So what would that look like for the Patriots? I think that for sure Marcus Jones, then Reagor, and then possibly Gibson's in the mix. But who knows? I do think Marcus Jones will probably take a little step back, possibly playing that slot corner, that nickelback spot. If you've seen in a previous video, Alex Austin he's a beast. He has a lot of potential. So if he takes that cornerback 2 spots, Jay Jones dropping down to nickel, it would just be interesting to see. And then Marcus Jones focuses more on the returns. If we could get him to be like a Devin Hester-esque returner, that would be unreal. Now, obviously, you're like, Aaron, he's one of the best returners, if not the best returner of all time. That is correct. You don't give a Christmas present to Devin Hester, because he will just return it. So if we could make Marcus Jones into that somewhat, that would be ideal. Because if you look at Devin Hester, defensively, he wasn't phenomenal, but as a return man, golly, all pro. And so fun to watch, especially when he was on Miami too. He was a ton of fun to watch for the Hurricanes. So that being said, comment below. What do you think about the new kickoff rules as well? What do you think as it comes to kick return for the New England Patriots? What should that look like? Should it be Marcus Jones, Rager, or Antonio Gibson, or maybe someone else I didn't say? Who should be in the mix? Do you think it's going to be one person back there, two people back there? Comment below. Let me know. This is Sports Talk Patriots. My name's Aaron. Again, subscribe. You guys rock. Peace.